Right now, I want you to pause for just a moment and really listen. A large number of people over the age of 60 are overlooking quiet signals their bodies are sending every single day. These signals are often brushed off as normal aging, stress, or simply being tired. But in many cases, they are something else entirely. Your body has its own way of asking for attention. And one of the organs that communicates most quietly and most persistently is the heart. I want to be clear from the beginning. I'm not here to frighten you. I'm here to help you notice patterns that many people miss until much later. Patterns that, when recognized early, can often be managed far more effectively. Today, I want to walk you through 13 subtle warning signs that the heart may use when it's under strain. These are not dramatic movie scenes. These are everyday changes, small shifts in how you breathe, sleep, move, and recover that many people experience long before any serious situation develops. I encourage you to stay with me until the end, because some of the most commonly ignored signs are also the most important to recognize early. Before we continue, if you care about understanding your body better as you get older, I recommend subscribing and turning on notifications. This channel is dedicated to calm, practical conversations about health after 50, the kind of information that's often overlooked elsewhere. And let me ask you something simple. If this topic feels relevant to you, type the number 1 in the comments. If not, you can type 0. Your response matters more than you might think. There are millions of adults who are living with reduced heart function and don't realize it yet. Not because they aren't paying attention, but because the signs don't look the way people expect them to. The heart rarely sends loud warnings early on. Instead, it makes small adjustments. It asks the body to slow down, to rest more, to adapt. Most people adjust without questioning why. The information I'm sharing today is based on long-term medical research and real-world patient observations. My purpose is not to diagnose, but to help you recognize when it may be wise to pause, observe, and speak with a healthcare professional. Some warning signs are very specific. Others are so common that you may have experienced them recently and thought nothing of it. Let me share a short story to help explain what I mean. Margaret is 72 years old and lives in a warm, dry climate. A few months ago, she noticed she was more comfortable sleeping with an extra pillow. At first, she thought it was just a preference. Then she added another. Soon after, she began waking up at night feeling short of breath. She told herself it was anxiety, worry about family, normal stress. Later, she noticed she felt winded while doing things that had never bothered her before, like bending down or tying her shoes. She assumed she was just out of shape. What Margaret didn't realize at the time was that her body was connecting these changes together. She wasn't imagining them. And she wasn't alone. The heart doesn't wait for a convenient moment to signal that it needs support. Long before any serious episode, it begins sending quieter messages. Research shows that when people recognize these early signals and address them promptly with a healthcare provider, outcomes can improve significantly. That's why awareness matters. Everything we discuss today is for educational purposes only and is meant to help you have better, more informed conversations with your doctor, not replace them. Now, let's begin with the first warning sign. Sign number 1, feeling short of breath during simple activities. This is one of the most frequently misunderstood signals. We are not talking about feeling winded after intense exercise. We're talking about becoming noticeably short of breath during tasks that were once easy, walking to the mailbox, climbing a single flight of stairs, or carrying light groceries. When this change appears gradually, many people adapt without noticing. They take the elevator instead of the stairs. They move more slowly. They rest more often. They explain it away as aging. What may be happening, however, is that the heart is struggling to keep up with the body's oxygen needs. When blood isn't moving as efficiently, the lungs work harder to compensate, creating that uncomfortable feeling of breathlessness. One key difference to pay attention to is recovery time. Healthy fatigue improves quickly with rest. But if you find that simple activity now requires long periods of recovery, far more than before, that's something worth paying attention to. This kind of change often appears months before other signs become noticeable. Sign number 2, needing more pillows to sleep comfortably. This next sign often shows up quietly at night. If you've noticed that you now need 1, 2, or even 3 pillows to breathe comfortably while sleeping, your body may be responding to changes in circulation. When you lie flat, gravity no longer helps blood move efficiently. If the heart is under strain, fluid can shift in ways that make breathing feel more difficult. Many people explain this away as allergies, congestion, or simply comfort preferences. Over time, some even move to sleeping in a recliner without questioning why. If you've gradually shifted from sleeping flat to needing elevation to feel comfortable, it's an important pattern to notice. In the next part, we'll talk about a nighttime breathing pattern that often feels sudden and frightening, along with a form of fatigue that rest doesn't seem to fix. Let's continue. The third warning sign is one that often feels sudden and unsettling, especially because it interrupts sleep. Sign number 3, waking up suddenly feeling short of breath. Some people describe this as waking up abruptly a few hours after falling asleep, feeling as if they need air right away. There may be a sense of urgency, a pounding heartbeat, or a strong need to sit up or stand near an open window. This experience can be very confusing. Many people assume it's a bad dream, stress, or a moment of nighttime anxiety. Others think it's related to sleep position or indigestion. What's important to understand is that during the night, fluid that has collected in the lower body throughout the day can gradually shift back into circulation. If the heart is already under strain, this shift can make breathing feel suddenly more difficult. These episodes tend to repeat, often around the same time each night, and may become more frequent over weeks or months. If this pattern sounds familiar, it's something worth discussing with a healthcare professional, especially when it appears alongside other changes we're discussing today. Sign number 4, a deep, persistent fatigue that doesn't improve with rest. This type of fatigue is different from normal tiredness. It's not the kind that improves after a good night's sleep or a quiet day. Instead, it lingers. It affects motivation, strength, and recovery. Simple activities, showering, preparing meals, walking short distances, may begin to feel unusually demanding. And afterward, you may feel depleted for much longer than expected. When the heart isn't circulating blood as efficiently, the body makes adjustments. It prioritizes blood flow to essential organs and reduces supply to muscles and other systems. Over time, this can leave you feeling weak, drained, and slower to recover. Because this change often happens gradually, many people reduce activity without realizing why. They stop going out as much. They rest more. They turn down invitations. They tell themselves this is just part of getting older. But a steady decline in stamina is not something to ignore. Sign number 5, swelling in the ankles, feet, or lower legs. This is one of the most visible signs, yet it's often overlooked until it becomes uncomfortable. You may notice your shoes feeling tighter by the end of the day, socks leaving deeper marks on your skin, ankles appearing puffy or stiff. This kind of swelling tends to affect both legs equally and becomes more noticeable as the day goes on. When circulation slows, fluid can accumulate in the lower parts of the body. The kidneys may also respond by holding on to salt and water, which increases fluid retention. One simple thing to observe is whether pressing gently on the swollen area leaves an indentation that lingers briefly. This can be a useful detail to mention when speaking with a healthcare provider. Sign number 6, rapid changes in body weight over a short time. This sign is less obvious, but very important. We are not talking about gradual weight changes related to diet or lifestyle. We're talking about noticeable increases over just a few days. A sudden gain of a few pounds in a short period can sometimes reflect fluid retention rather than changes in body fat. This is why many clinicians encourage older adults to check their weight regularly, ideally at the same time each morning. The scale can often detect changes before swelling or breathing discomfort becomes obvious. If weight increases quickly and unexpectedly, it's a signal worth paying attention to. At this point, you may be noticing a pattern. These signs don't appear all at once. They arrive quietly, gradually, often months apart. And because each one seems small on its own, people explain them away. In the final part, we'll cover warning signs that show up at night, changes in heart rhythm and balance, digestive clues many people never connect to the heart, and one very specific signal that most people have never heard of, but should. Now let's move on to signs that often appear at night or are mistaken for completely unrelated issues. Sign number 7, needing to use the bathroom frequently at night. Many people assume that waking up several times at night to urinate is simply part of aging. Others blame drinking water too late in the evening. But in some cases, this pattern reflects how fluid is being redistributed in the body. During the day, fluid can settle in the legs and lower body. When you lie down at night, gravity allows that fluid to return to circulation. The kidneys then receive more fluid than they did during the day and respond by producing more urine. People often notice they wake up 3, 4, or even 5 times each night, and that the volume is larger than expected. When this change appears alongside swelling, breathing discomfort, or fatigue, it's an important pattern to recognize. Sign number 8. A persistent nighttime cough that improves when sitting up. This is not a typical allergy cough or a cough associated with seasonal illness. It's often dry, repetitive, and tends to appear when lying flat. Many people notice it improves when they sit upright or prop themselves up with pillows. This can happen when small amounts of fluid affect the lungs during the night. The body responds by coughing in an attempt to clear what it senses as irritation. Because it feels mild at first, people often try humidifiers, cough drops, or different pillows without considering that circulation may be playing a role. If a nighttime cough keeps returning and doesn't have a clear explanation, it's worth mentioning to a healthcare provider. Sign number 9. Irregular heart sensations or awareness of your heartbeat. Some people describe this as fluttering. Others say it feels like skipped beats or a racing sensation even while resting. As the heart works harder to circulate blood, its rhythm can sometimes feel less steady. These sensations may come and go and are often most noticeable when lying down or sitting quietly. While many things can influence heart rhythm, changes that occur alongside fatigue, dizziness, or breathing discomfort deserve attention. Sign number 10. Lightheadedness or feeling unsteady when standing or moving. If you've noticed moments of dizziness, unsteadiness, or a feeling that you need to pause when standing up, your circulation may not be adjusting as smoothly as before. The heart and blood vessels normally respond quickly to position changes. When that response slows, blood flow to the brain can briefly decrease, creating that lightheaded feeling. These episodes are often explained away as dehydration, low blood sugar, or medications. And sometimes those explanations are correct. But when these sensations appear together with other signs we've discussed, they may reflect reduced circulation efficiency. Sign number 11. Digestive discomfort after small meals. This one surprises many people. If you feel full very quickly, lose your appetite, or experience bloating or discomfort after eating small portions, circulation may be affecting digestion. When blood flow is reduced to the digestive system, it can slow digestion and create ongoing discomfort. Some people also notice nausea or pressure in the upper abdomen. Because these symptoms seem unrelated to the heart, they are often treated separately, which can delay recognizing the bigger picture. Sign number 12. Feeling short of breath when bending forward. This is a very specific and often overlooked sign. If you notice that bending down to tie your shoes, pick something up, or lean over a sink makes you feel suddenly short of breath, that's something to pay attention to. Bending forward increases pressure in the chest and abdomen. If the heart is already under strain, this added pressure can briefly affect breathing. This sign is uncommon in people with healthy circulation and is considered quite specific when it appears. Sign number 13. Constantly cold hands or feet. Finally, pay attention to circulation in your extremities. If your hands or feet often feel cold even in warm conditions, it may reflect how blood is being prioritized in the body. When circulation is reduced, the body directs blood toward essential organs first. The hands and feet receive less, leading to persistent coolness or slower warming. Some people also notice changes in skin tone or sensitivity. What to do if you recognize several of these signs? If you noticed yourself in one or two of these patterns, there's no need to panic. But it is important not to ignore them. When multiple signs appear together, or when everyday activities become unexpectedly difficult, your body may be asking for support. Early attention can make a meaningful difference. Modern healthcare offers many ways to evaluate circulation and support heart function, often long before serious problems develop. I recommend tracking changes, noting patterns, and discussing them openly with a healthcare professional who knows your history. If this video helped you understand your body a little better, let me know by typing 1 in the comments. If it didn't, you can type 0. Your experience may help someone else notice something important sooner. If you found this information useful, consider liking the video and subscribing so you don't miss future discussions like this one. Your heart works for you every day, quietly and consistently. Paying attention when it asks for care is one of the most valuable things you can do for your long-term well-being.